こんにちは。インターネットの普及により今、子どもポルノの流出が国内のみならず国際的にも大きな問題になっています。そこで今日のコンタクトは子どもポルノの現状と問題点を、子どもの性的搾取をなくすための活動をしている国際 NGO ECPATのスウェーデン代表のヘレナ・カーレンさんにお話をお伺いします。まずですが、子どもポルノ、普段私が生活しているとほとんど接する機会というのはないんですが、一旦インターネットでサーチしてみようとしますとすぐにポッと出てくるんですね。こういった子どもポルノを取り巻く現状というのをどのようにお感じになっていらっしゃいますか
？Well, it's true, as you say, that they pop up. You easily come across as an internet user, customer, anywhere in the world. It's not only in Japan this happens. And that also shows us the extent, the vast amount of this material available, and the importance that we really try and do what we can to fight it.
その中で日本なんですが、その児童ポルノの作り手である、そして輸出国でもある、それがもしかしたら世界で一番多いかもしれないという現状を私聞いたことがあるんですけれども、実際のところどうなんでしょうか。
Well, first of all, I would like to say that Japan is not only producer and exporter, but very, very much also consumer. ECPAT Sweden runs a hotline, www.ecpat.se, and we receive reports from the general public in Sweden, people who, as you say, just come across this material in a spam or searching something on the internet, and they will report it to our hotline. And from that material, we can see that a lot of these websites are hosted on Japanese servers, and it's clearly Japanese material.
日本が大きく加担しているんだなということがよくわかるんですけれども、スウェーデンなんですが、1996年に1回目の子ども商業的性的搾取に反対する世界会議というのがストックホルムで行われまして、国を挙げて積極的にこの児童ポルノの問題に取り組んでいるということがあります。でここで東京港区にあるスウェーデン大使館で行われた子どもポルノをなくすためのシンポジウムの様子、少しご覧ください。
非常に重要な前進が見られたわけでございますが、Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today's seminar is in fact おっしゃりながら一生懸命に調整をしていただきまして実際に来ていただきました。大変嬉しく光栄に思った次第でございます。9 million. So then you see the proportion.
Our mission is to detect, disrupt, and dismantle illegal network.
Contracts with different partners. We act as a hosting service provider, animal pornography or terrorist sites or copyright infringements.
子どもポルノの公然陳列もやっているんですけれども、それと合わせまして提供行為というのがあります。連続して大量の児童ポルノが、延々と投稿されているという状況がございます。
まずパネリストの皆様お一人お一人から続けて
このシンポジウムにヘレナさんも参加なさっていらっしゃったんですが、どういった感想をお持ちですか
？I think that was very, very useful and important to exchange views and experience and ideas with the Swedish representatives, police, internet service provider, and NGOs. And I think hopefully that there were also some inspiration from how one can proceed. And hopefully, the law in Japan will be further strengthened for increased protection for children by criminalizing the mere possession of child pornographic material. That's one thing, and the other thing which I really would like to see is that Japanese internet service providers will also start blocking access to the child pornographic websites on the internet.
ブロッキングというのはどういう仕組みなんですか？
Well, first of all, let me put it like this. For this material to be out there on the internet and to be flourishing, there needs to be a supply and a demand. This material and the servers are run by professionals and for profit reasons. So the material is sold to people in Japan and Sweden who buy it with their credit cards. It's a very, very lucrative business, and every time someone buys a new photo, no image, normally they buy hundreds and thousands, there's a lot of income to the mafia groups that run these websites, which makes them produce more, of course, because there is a demand. That has to be understood first. Now, given this situation, we decided we need to address the demand. We need to address the buyers. If we can stop buyers to consume, to buy more material, less material, new material will be produced. So, given that background, we asked the big internet service providers in Sweden. We started with speaking to 10 of them, the biggest ones, asking them to please block access. So that if I'm a consumer trying to buy with my Visa card, I will not get anything except a sign saying stop.
Stop. それがこちらにあるものなんですが、今ねちょっとプリントアウトして持ってきていただいたんですけれども、こういうものがボンと出てくるわけですね。どこの段階でブロックされることになっているんですか？
The provider will, and this is important, the provider will of course not block just by chance. They will block only what the police tell them to block. That's an important part. They receive every week or continuously lists from the police, listing all the website addresses that police, from the legal perspective, have determined to be illegal. That is the basis of their work. And they just simply cut them off so no one can reach them. And technically how that is done, I'm not an expert on. But I know that from this list they decide that website, that website, that website, but all the time from the orders from the police. And the result is that you as a consumer, you try to access and you will get that stop sign.
ではもうスウェーデンでは一切そういった情報をゲットすることはできないということになりますか？
I shouldn't say never, because not all the internet service providers in the country do this yet. But all the main ones, the big ones, do. And according to police, they say that about 80 to 90% of all the Swedish market is covered by this blocking.
それが日本でもブロッキングできるようになればこれからねちょっといい方向に向かうんじゃないかなというふうにも思うんですけれども、もう一つ日本の問題点としてアニメーションがあると思うんですが、日本ではそのアニメーション、児童ポルノのアニメーションはその表現の自由という壁があってなかなか法の規制がかけられないように今はなっているんですけれども、その現状はどのようにお感じですか？
And let me say that there are many parallels between Sweden and Japan, also in this area actually, because freedom of speech and freedom of press are very, very strong also in Sweden. When we tried to influence our lawmakers to criminalize the mere possession of child pornography in Sweden, it took 6 years of debate. and it required an amendment of our constitution because the strong position of freedom of speech. So we also have that, and I think it's important to do. Freedom of speech, and you must think as a journalist, it's very important. But there are situations when there is a freedom of speech aspect and the aspect of violating a child. And with the violation of a child, especially since it's exploding the way it does, and with millions of victims, that you have to look at the individual rights of the child in the first place.
子どもの犠牲者が増えているということなんですが、私も子どもいますので、もうとてもいたたまれない心境なんですけれども、やはり子どもたちにとってはかなりの傷を負うことになるんですよね。
Wow. This material that we receive on our hotline, I couldn't describe it in a better way than saying that it's totally wrong to call this child pornography, because what it really is torture of children, and sometimes newly born babies. You see little children, sometimes maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, sometimes tied with chains. Well, I don't want to describe any details, but the word pornography, at least for me and in my language, is wrong, because it indicates some kind of posing, and it's not posing. It's sexual torture of little children. And I cannot see how actually any of these victims that I've seen in these images can ever live a normal life again. I don't think so.
具体的にどういったアクションが取れるか教えていただけますか。もし何かいい手立てがあるんであれば。
Well, I think you are taking an action right now by making this program, by informing people, because I think awareness, information is vitally important, because so many people in our societies still think that this is not such a big problem, and they think maybe there are teenager girls who earn some money and they do some posing, and there's nothing wrong with that, and no harm done. But the situation, the real situation, is totally different. And each and one of us as private individuals can also make a difference by raising awareness among friends and families and colleagues, and of course try to inspire lawmakers and the private sector, the internet service providers, to contribute. Because the solution is not only one, there's several actions that need to be taken. And if we all contributed, the situation would be different. If we can stem the demand, stop the buyers, there would be no material out there, because it would not be interesting if no one buys it, which means there won't be any new victims.
はい、わかりました。どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
今日のコンタクトは今問題になっている児童ポルノについて国際 NGO のECPATの代表でいらっしゃいますスウェーデン代表のヘレナ・カーレンさんにお話を伺いました。